Hi, Scott Weaver from Factory Direct Window Treatments back at you for another segment on swags. I did this once before, but the sound quality was pretty poor, so I thought I'd go over it again. This is a swag. It's been all sewn, it's been pressed, and I've got my pins in each one of these pleats. Now this is what your swag pattern should look like. If it doesn't look like this, then you've probably done something wrong, or you've got the wrong type of swag. But this is what one should look like. And we make our own swag patterns. I actually make all the swag patterns here. But I want to show you how to pleat this. And I want to make sure that before you do this, you're calm. You didn't drink about 12 cups of coffee and having a bad morning. Because this is something you can't rush. And you want to be focused when you do it. This is the last part of doing your swag. And you want it to come out decent. So take your time with it. Now you notice I've got what I call this pleating board. You probably aren't going to have one. You can use a pine board, pine soft. And I also use push pins. And I use a pair of plier staples. Now the first thing, and there's a lot of benefit for using this. I've watched a lot of other videos where they've got the swag hanging over the side and they're trying to pleat it off the side, or they're trying to hold it with two hands and, you know, trying to keep everything together. But what you really do want to keep it on the board. And there's a lot of benefits to this. I'll show you because you can adjust the size of the swag very quickly using this type of a system. So you've got it down. Now this is your first. This V right in here, that is your first pleat. So you want to take it and you removing your pins one at a time as you're pleating them. That'll keep your lining. So there's my V. I'm going to take it, I'm going to bring it up. And you want to keep it level with the edge of the board. And there's that pleat right there. You want to keep everything level. Take a push pin, put it in. You want to work left to right. And you also want to work the center here for that pleat also. You just want to kind of put your hand there and make sure that this moves with the material. Again, keeping this all lined up. Stick another one. Go back to your center. That's your first pleat. You don't want to do one side, then do the other side. And again, just take your time. Remove your next one. Bring it so it's nice and even to the top of your board. Take your next pin out. Bring it up. Always keep straightening out your fabric. Keeping it organized, you might want to say. Grabbing that V, right where that V is. Bring it up. Now, as you can see, I'm keeping this nice and even. And it's important to grab the center of this every once in a while and work with that V. Trying to crease it like that, just to bring it over. Kind of like a little snap, like you're snapping a line. Bring it up. Now there's other things you want to be checking at the same time as you're putting these up, and you can go ahead and adjust them later, but you also want the spaces here, like if these are supposed to be an inch, you're making sure that these spaces where your pleats are fairly even, that you don't have too, a couple of them bunched together too close, and that's also important. And you see I'm adjusting the bottom first now that I'm getting deeper into it. And again, I'm going to grab my V right here where my V is. You see how I'm just kind of pulling that, making that pleat, forcing that pleat over. This is my last one. And then after you have it done, look at this side, look at this side, make sure your pleats look about the same. Take your tape measure, measure from your first pleat inside to here, get your measurement, then look at it from this side. Now this side is a little bit bigger, so then you'll want to go ahead, remove some of these, and just bring them in a little bit. So this side and that side have the same, in this case it was like 11 inches. Check it. 11 and a half could be moved in just a little bit more. Or that one moved out. Then check your overall size to make sure you've got your right size. Now this is measuring 36 inches. What if I say, oh my God, that's I didn't want a 36. It's going on a 34-inch board. Now look at what you can do. As long as you have a board like this, you can take all these out and you can bring them up over the board. To bring the whole thing in. So if I needed to change my width or my drop, I can do it by bringing it in. Now I had 36 before. Now from over here I've got 34 inches. Then I'm going to check again to see. Now instead of 11 inches I've got 10 inches on that side. And perfect, 10 inches on that side. Then I can go ahead, put my push pins back in. And I can even adjust my drop this in the same way. I didn't, all I did is push it in, but if my drop was too deep, I could have adjusted that also. So now with my push pins back in, now I can just change the size of it by cutting off the excess. That's why I like using this type of a board. Now if you want, you can go ahead one at a time, take these out and replace them with a pin in here. Or what I do is I use a pair of plier staples and I bring it in. You know you're going to have a 1/2-inch sewing allowance. I just keep this at the very top so it doesn't interfere with my sewing allowance. Except I just ran out of staples. Then you can bring it over to your sewing machine and sew it down. But there you have it. There's your swag. So that's how you pleat a swag. If you have any questions, just send me an email and I'll be glad to get back to you. Thank you very much. Scott Weaver, Factory Direct Window Treatments.